Welcome to World Motivation Graham.
It can feel overwhelming when we look around and see the worst people rising to power, gaining wealth, and controlling the world's systems. It almost seems like doing wrong is the easiest path to success. Corrupt leaders continue to lead. Dishonest businessmen continue to profit. The selfish and ruthless keep climbing higher while the honest and kind are trampled underfoot. The sight of injustice shakes our hearts and we cry out, "Why do the wicked seem to win?" But my friend, what we see is an illusion. It is a mirage that disappears when seen from eternity's perspective. The wicked may build towers of wealth and power, but their foundation is made of sand. It looks strong today, but one storm, one shift, one divine moment, and it all crumbles. The world celebrates their rise, but history testifies to their fall. God's word tells us that the success of the wicked is like the grass in the field, flourishing in the morning but withered by the evening. What seems like triumph is only a passing shadow. It is not real victory. Look deeper beyond the surface of this world and you will see the truth. Evil does not win. It only appears to. And the longer it reigns, the harder it falls. The righteous may suffer for a time, but their suffering is not in vain. Their reward is being prepared. Their path is being made straight. The faithful will inherit something far greater than anything this broken world can offer. Evil's throne is temporary, but God's justice is forever. We expect justice to rule this world, but the truth is, the world does not operate on justice. It operates on the nature of man, and that nature, my friend, is fallen. From the very beginning, sin entered the heart of humanity, and ever since the strong have oppressed the weak, the cunning have deceived the innocent, and the corrupt have taken the thrones of power. The world we live in is not fair because it is not governed by righteousness. It is ruled by those who serve their own desires. We see it in every generation. The greedy prosper while the selfless struggle. The deceitful climb higher while the honest are pushed aside. Those who have no conscience often have no limits, and because of that they rise in a broken world that rewards the ruthless. But don't mistake success for favor. The power of the wicked does not come from righteousness, but from a world that does not know God. What does this tell us? It tells us that our hope cannot be placed in earthly justice. If we expect fairness from a world that does not know truth, we will always be disappointed. But justice does not belong to this world. It belongs to God. He is not blind to what is happening. He is not ignorant of the schemes of the wicked. He allows them to rise for a time, but their fall is already written. Their power is borrowed, and their time is running out. What looks like victory today is only a delay of the judgment that is coming. So do not despair when you see injustice prevail. Do not lose heart when liars and deceivers seem to win. Their success is an illusion, and their time is short. The kingdom of this world will pass away, but the kingdom of God will remain forever. The wicked do not win by strength alone. They win by deception. They do not conquer through wisdom, but through lies. Truth is their enemy and manipulation is their weapon. The world rewards those who can twist reality, who can disguise evil as good and call darkness light, and those who are willing to deceive will always have an advantage in a world that does not seek truth. Look around and you will see it everywhere. The corrupt build their empires on falsehoods. They promise fairness while acting in greed. They speak of justice while practicing oppression. They disguise their ambition as leadership, their selfishness as wisdom, and their cruelty as strength. They climb the ladder not by lifting others up, but by stepping on the backs of the innocent. And the world, blind and deceived, applauds them. But there is something they do not realize. A lie may rise, but it cannot stand forever. Deception may build a kingdom, but it will crumble under the weight of truth. Every empire built on falsehood eventually collapses. Every leader who rules through deception will be exposed. The wicked may believe their own lies, but the truth is like a fire. It cannot be hidden, and it will consume everything in its path. So do not be shaken when you see deception ruling the world. Do not be discouraged when the liars seem to succeed. Their success is borrowed and their defeat is already written. The truth cannot be silenced forever. The light will shine and every lie will be brought into the open. What the wicked thought was their victory will be the very thing that destroys them. There are times when we look at the world and wonder, why does God allow the wicked to rise? Why does He not strike them down? My friend, do not mistake God's patience for approval. He is not blind and He is not silent. The wicked are not winning. They are being given time to repent, or time to seal their own judgment. Throughout history, we have seen evil rulers rise, corrupt men gain power, and liars prosper. And we ask, where is God in all of this? But what we fail to see is that their rise is not a sign of their strength. It is a test for them and a test for us. Will they turn from their ways before it is too late? And will we keep our faith even when it seems like justice is delayed? The Bible tells us that Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and God allowed him to rise for a time, but his power was not a blessing, it was a warning. His rise was a part of his downfall. The same is true today. Those who reject God and build their thrones on deception are not winning. They are being weighed, and when their measure is full, the judgment will come, and no one will be able to stand against it. So do not envy the wicked when they rise. Do not question God's justice when they seem to prosper. Their power is borrowed, their time is short. The longer they rise, the greater their fall will be. And in the end, righteousness will have the final word. The prosperity of the wicked is a trap. It looks like success, it looks like they are winning, but in reality, they are walking straight into their own downfall. What appears to be a reward is actually a setup for destruction. Look at the world and you will see it everywhere. The dishonest businessman who manipulates and cheats his way to wealth, he believes he has secured his future. The corrupt leader who builds his empire on oppression, he thinks his power will last forever. The liar who deceives others for gain, he assumes he will never be caught. But what they do not realize is that every step they take toward their so-called success is another step toward their ruin. The Bible tells us that the wicked flourish like grass, but they will be cut down. Their success is temporary, their victories short-lived. They may sit on high places today, but their foundation is weak. The riches they have gathered, the power they have stolen, it will not save them when the time of reckoning comes. History has proven this time and time again. Tyrants who ruled with cruelty, leaders who thought they were invincible, men who built their lives on deception, all have faced the same fate. At their peak, they were untouchable. Their names were feared. But where are they now? Their wealth could not protect them. Their thrones have turned to dust. Their legacies have faded into nothing. The wicked mistake their success for security, but in truth it is a snare. The very things they put their trust in will be the things that destroy them. Their riches will vanish, their power will slip through their fingers, their deceit will be uncovered, and in the end, they will have nothing. So do not envy them when they rise. Do not be deceived by their temporary victories. What they have gained through evil will not last. The prosperity of the wicked is a trap, and when it finally closes, there will be no escape. The suffering of the righteous is not a sign of God's neglect, it is a sign of His preparation. When you see the wicked rising and the righteous struggling, do not mistake it for injustice. The wicked are being allowed to climb, but the righteous are being strengthened. Gold is not found in its purest form. It must go through fire. It must be refined, melted down, purified until all that is impure is removed. The righteous are like that gold. They go through trials, through hardship, through suffering, not because they are forgotten, but because they are being prepared for something greater. God is not punishing them. The wicked, on the other hand, avoid the fire. They take shortcuts. They build their lives on lies and deception. They refuse to be refined, and because of that, they remain weak. They may look strong, they may rise quickly, but their foundation is shallow. And when the storm comes, when the weight of their own corruption crashes down on them, they will have nothing to hold them up. History is full of men who gained power overnight, who rose without hardship, who prospered without suffering. But where are they now? They had no foundation. The moment their wealth was threatened, the moment their power was tested, they fell apart. They were never prepared to endure because they never allowed themselves to be strengthened. But the righteous, they endure the fire, and because of that, they stand firm. When the trials come, they do not break. When the wicked fall, they remain standing. God does not waste the suffering of His people. Every trial has a purpose. Every hardship is shaping them for something eternal. So do not be discouraged when the wicked prosper and you struggle. Do not lose heart when you face trials while others take the easy path. The fire is making you stronger. The pain is not pointless, it is preparing you, and in the end, when everything else crumbles, you will remain standing because your foundation has been made unshakable. Evil never lasts. It may rise quickly, it may seem unstoppable, but its time is always limited. No matter how high the wicked climb, their fall is inevitable. History has shown this again and again. Powerful rulers who thought they were invincible, corrupt leaders who believed their reign would never end, men who built their kingdoms on lies and oppression, where are they now? They had everything, but they could not escape the judgment that was waiting for them. Their empires turned to ruins, their wealth disappeared, their names, once spoken with fear and awe, are now reminders of failure. The world does not always see it right away, but evil carries the seed of its own destruction. The wicked rise through deception, but lies cannot stand forever. They build their power on injustice, but injustice will always collapse under the weight of truth. Their success may seem unshakable, but the very foundation they stand on is crumbling beneath them. It may take years, even decades, for the fall to come, but it always comes. No throne built on corruption will stand. No kingdom built on oppression will last. No victory gained through evil will remain. The higher they rise, the harder they fall. So do not be discouraged when it seems like wickedness is winning. Do not lose faith when it looks like evil has the upper hand. Time is moving forward. The clock is ticking. And when the moment comes, no power on earth will be able to stop the judgment that has already been set in motion. The wicked may rise for a season, but their end is certain. Only righteousness will stand the test of time. Success without righteousness is not a blessing, it is a curse. The world measures success by wealth, power, and influence, but none of these things have lasting value if they are gained through corruption. What looks like a reward is often the very thing that destroys a person. The wicked chase after riches, thinking money will bring them security. They pursue power, believing it will make them untouchable. They seek influence, imagining it will give them control over their own destiny. And for a time it seems to work. They rise, they prosper, they enjoy the luxuries of life. But deep inside they remain empty. No amount of success can fill a soul that is lost. Look at the world and you will see it. Some of the wealthiest, most powerful individuals have everything money can buy, yet they are restless. They turn to distractions, addictions, and endless pursuits of pleasure, trying to silence the void inside them. But no matter how much they gain, it is never enough. They climb higher and higher, yet the emptiness follows them. What they thought would bring them peace only becomes a burden they cannot escape. And then in an instant, it all comes crashing down. The money they trusted in vanishes. The power they built slips through their fingers. The people who once praised them turn against them. They spent their lives chasing success, but in the end, they lost everything that truly mattered. True success is not found in wealth or power. it is found in righteousness. A person who walks in truth, who honors God, who lives with integrity, they may not have the riches of this world, but they have something greater. They have peace that cannot be bought. They have joy that cannot be taken away. They have security that does not depend on shifting circumstances. So do not envy the wicked when they prosper. What they have is not a reward, it is a trap. The higher they climb, the heavier their burden becomes. And when the fall comes, it will be great. But the righteous, they will stand firm, because their success is not built on the fleeting things of this world, it is built on the eternal. The victories of the wicked are temporary, but the rewards of the righteous are eternal. What may seem like winning today will be nothing more than dust tomorrow. The wealth, the power, the influence that the wicked fight so hard to gain will not last. It will slip through their hands like sand, and in the end, they will stand with nothing. Throughout history, we have seen the rise and fall of men who thought they had conquered the world. Kings and rulers who built empires, leaders who ruled with an iron fist, corrupt men who climbed to the highest places of power. They won battle after battle, they silenced their enemies, they expanded their reach, but then suddenly their time was up. Their victories turned to losses. Their names faded into history, not as heroes, but as warnings. Because no matter how much the wicked win, they can never outrun the truth. Justice does not always come immediately, but it always comes. The wealth they gathered, the control they seized, the pleasures they indulged in, none of it will follow them beyond this life. Their victories will be forgotten, but their judgment will remain. But the righteous, their rewards are eternal. They may not always see victory in this life, but they are building something greater. Their faithfulness, their integrity, their trust in God, these things do not fade away. While the wicked chase after temporary success, the righteous are investing in something that will never be taken from them. So do not be discouraged when it looks like the wicked are winning. Do not lose heart when it seems like they have every advantage. Their victories are an illusion. The real reward belongs to those who remain faithful, because what God gives can never be stolen, and what He establishes will never fall. The wicked seem to rise because the world rewards sin. The systems of this world are not built on righteousness, they are built on selfishness, greed, and deception. And because of that, those who manipulate, those who oppress, those who lie, often find themselves at the top. But just because the world rewards them does not mean they have truly won. Look at how society operates. The ruthless businessman, willing to exploit others, climbs the corporate ladder faster than the one who works with honesty. The corrupt politician, making deals behind closed doors, gains more influence than the one who stands for truth. The entertainer who promotes immorality is given more fame and fortune than the one who upholds virtue. The world does not elevate goodness, it elevates whatever serves its own desires. But the approval of the world is not the approval of God. What the world calls success, God calls corruption. What the world calls strength, God calls weakness. What the world calls winning, God calls deception. The wicked rise not because they are truly great, but because the world itself is broken. And yet their time is short. The same world that lifts them up will one day tear them down. The same people who praise them will one day turn on them. The same system that rewards their sin will one day destroy them, because evil always consumes itself in the end. But the righteous, they do not need the world's approval, because their reward does not come from men, it comes from God. And while the wicked rise and fall, the righteous remain. While the world changes its standards, God's truth stands unshaken. While the wicked enjoy their fleeting moment of glory, the righteous are storing up something far greater, something eternal. So do not be fooled by what the world rewards. Do not envy those who climb by stepping on others. The world may give them success for a moment, but it cannot give them peace. It may grant them power, but it cannot save them. The only victory that matters is the one that lasts, and only those who walk in righteousness will stand in the end. The wicked believe they are in control, but they are only playing a role in a greater plan. They rise to power, they build their empires, they make their own rules, thinking they are the masters of their own destiny. But they do not see the truth. God is still in charge. He is allowing them to move, but only within the limits He has set. Look at history. Nations have risen, kings have ruled, tyrants have crushed their people. They made their plans, they set their own course, and for a time, they seemed unstoppable. But every single one of them met the same fate. They thought they were the authors of their own stories, but in the end, they were only fulfilling a purpose they could not understand. Pharaoh thought he controlled Egypt, but he was only part of God's design. Babylon ruled with arrogance, but its destruction was already written. Rome conquered the world, but its fall was inevitable. No empire, no leader, no wicked ruler has ever stood beyond the reach of God's plan. And it is the same today. The powerful think they are shaping the future, but they are only acting within the boundaries God has already set. They may seem untouchable, but they are only moving toward the end that has already been determined. So do not be shaken when you see the wicked rise. Do not fear when they seem to take control. They are not truly in power, God is. And when their time is up, when their purpose is fulfilled, He will remove them. The righteous do not need to fight for control because they serve the one who already holds it. While the wicked believe they are writing history, God is turning every page. And in the end, His will is what will stand. The victories of the wicked are a test for the righteous. When we see evil men prosper, when we watch corruption go unpunished, it challenges our faith. It makes us ask hard questions. Why does God allow this? Why do those who reject Him seem to thrive while those who honor Him struggle? These questions shake the soul, but they are not meant to destroy our faith. They are meant to strengthen it. God tests the heart of the righteous, not to harm them, but to refine them. When the wicked rise, it reveals what is truly inside us. Will we trust God even when things seem unfair? Will we stand firm even when the world rewards sin? Will we remain faithful even when it looks like righteousness has no reward? The truth is, if faith only exists when life is easy, it is not faith at all. If trust in God only lasts when things go our way, it is not real trust. The prosperity of the wicked forces the righteous to decide, will they follow the ways of the world, or will they stand firm on the truth of God? Throughout history, many have faced this test. Some gave in. They saw the wicked rise and they abandoned their integrity to chase after the same success. But others held on. They endured the test. They stayed faithful, and in the end, they were proven strong. The trials made them unshakable, and God lifted them up in due time. So do not let the success of the wicked shake your faith. Do not let it make you doubt God's justice. This is a test, and those who endure will see the reward. The wicked may rise for a moment, but the righteous will stand forever. Stay faithful, because the one who trusts in God will never be put to shame. The wicked mistake God's patience for approval. They sin openly, they exploit others, they rise through corruption, and because judgment does not come immediately, they believe they have escaped it. They assume that because they have not been stopped, they never will be. But they are deceiving themselves. God is not ignoring their actions. He is giving them time to repent. Throughout history, we see this pattern again and again. Evil men rise to power, and for a time it looks as if nothing can stop them. They take more, they oppress more, they grow bolder in their wickedness, believing they are untouchable. But then suddenly their time is up. The very thing they trusted in turns against them. The power they built crumbles. The wealth they hoarded is taken away. the people they once ruled over, rejoice at their downfall. Why does God allow them to continue for so long? Because He is merciful. He does not desire the destruction of anyone, even the most corrupt. He gives them time. He calls them to turn from their ways. He gives them chance after chance to change. But when they refuse, when they harden their hearts, when they mistake His patience for weakness, then judgment comes, and it is swift. No one escapes justice forever. Some will face it in this life, and others will meet it in eternity. But make no mistake, God will not be mocked. Every wicked deed, every lie, every injustice will be answered for. The wicked may live as if they will never be held accountable, but their time is running out. So do not envy them. Do not be discouraged when they seem to go unpunished. God is not ignoring them, He is waiting. But the day will come when waiting ends, and when that day arrives, there will be no escape. The wise do not mistake God's patience for approval. The wise turn to Him before it is too late. The wicked may have power, but they have no peace. They may have wealth, but they have no joy. The world looks at their success and assumes they have won, but deep inside they are restless. No amount of money can buy them true contentment. No amount of influence can silence the fear that lingers in their hearts. They may laugh in public, but in the quiet moments they are haunted. Why? Because sin always brings torment. A man who gains wealth dishonestly is always looking over his shoulder, afraid of being exposed. A ruler who rises through corruption lives in fear of betrayal. A person who builds their life on deception knows deep down that it will one day collapse. They may appear confident, but they are never at rest. They are prisoners of their own choices. History is filled with examples. The most powerful rulers, the wealthiest men, those who seem to have everything, many of them lived in paranoia. Many of them surrounded themselves with guards, terrified of losing what they had. Many of them spent their final years in misery, realizing too late that all their victories meant nothing. They had gained the world but lost their souls. But the righteous, they may not have earthly power, but they have something far greater: peace. A person who walks in truth does not live in fear. A person who trusts in God does not worry about tomorrow. A person who follows righteousness does not have to look over their shoulder, because they stand on a foundation that cannot be shaken. So do not be fooled by appearances. The wicked may seem to have it all, but what they lack is far greater than what they possess. Real success is not found in riches or power. It is found in the peace that only God can give. And that peace belongs only to those who walk in His ways. The final victory belongs to God. No matter how high the wicked rise, no matter how powerful they become, their time is limited. Their kingdoms will fall, their wealth will fade, their names will be forgotten. But God's justice will remain, and His righteousness will prevail. The world may celebrate them for a time. Their faces may be on magazines, their names on the lips of millions, their influence shaping nations, but in the grand scheme of eternity, their reign is nothing more than a passing shadow. They build monuments to themselves, but time will erase them. They gather treasures, but none of it will follow them beyond this life. The wicked believe they have won, but they have only delayed the inevitable. Every corrupt leader, every dishonest ruler, every oppressor who thought they were above judgment, where are they now? They all face the same fate. Their power could not save them. Their riches could not buy them another day. Their plans, their schemes, their victories, all of it came to nothing. But God's kingdom does not fall. His truth does not fade. His people do not lose. Those who stand with Him, those who trust in Him, those who remain faithful through the trials of this life, they are the ones who will stand forever. So do not fear when evil seems to win. Do not be discouraged when the righteous suffer. This story is not over. The final chapter is already written, and in the end it is not the wicked who will stand in victory, it is God. And those who have remained faithful to Him will share in that victory for all eternity. So when you see the wicked rise, when it seems like corruption is rewarded and righteousness is forgotten, do not lose heart. Do not be shaken. Do not let the success of the ungodly make you question the justice of God. Their victories are temporary, but His truth is eternal. Yes, for a time the world may lift up the unrighteous. It may celebrate those who deceive, those who oppress, those who reject the ways of God. But their moment will pass, their strength will fade, their wealth will vanish, because no throne built on sin will last, no empire built on deception will endure, and no man who stands against God will ultimately prevail. But those who trust in the Lord, those who walk in righteousness even when the path is hard, will never be put to shame. Their reward is not in this fleeting world, it is in eternity. Their victory is not in the approval of men, it is in the hands of the Almighty. And when all else crumbles, they will still be standing. So hold on. Stay faithful. Do not let the wicked fool you into thinking they have won, because in the end, the only victory that matters belongs to God and to those who remain with Him.